A tax showdown is brewing on Capitol Hill, and it could redefine the Republican Party as much as it reshapes your wallet. House Republicans have unveiled the first draft of a sweeping $4 trillion tax package, their most consequential legislation effort under Donald Trump's second term. But as with anything in Washington these days, unity is elusive, and the kitchen sink approach might not be enough to get the job done. The stakes sky high, the timing ticking, and the message is about as much as policy as it is about politics. This bill might be a litmus test for the modern GOP.
Can you say unequivocally that further down the line there won't be any cuts to Medicaid program?
Medicaid is hugely problematic because it has a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. Everybody knows that. We all know it intuitively. No one in here would disagree.
So, House Republicans on Friday night quietly rolled out the framework for a roughly $4 trillion tax cut package. The goal? To lock in and even expand the Trump era tax cuts from 2017 before they expire at the end of this year. So, what's actually in it? Well, for starters, a bigger standard deduction, an extra $1,000 for individuals each year until 2029. There's also a boosted child tax credit, up from $2,000 to $2,500, but only for 4 years. There's also a slight bump in business deductions for pass-through entities from 20% to 22%. And a bigger break for the wealthy, the estate tax exemption jumps to 15 million indexed to inflation. Well, what's not in the bill is also just as telling. There's no fix to the $10,000 cap on state and local tax deductions, the so-called SALT cap that has infuriated blue state Republicans. There's also no mention of Trump's recent promises on the campaign trail to eliminate taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security income. No clarity on how the bill will be paid for beyond cuts to Medicaid and other safety net programs. Democrats are largely against this tax package, with Representative Hakeem Jeffries saying this last week.
Republicans are crashing the economy, raising costs, and driving us toward a recession. They are undermining the American dream when they promise to make life more affordable. This majority, this presidency has been a complete and total disaster for working class Americans.
So that's where things get messy, because to fund these tax cuts, many conservatives are demanding deep spending cuts, including to Medicaid, and Democrats aren't the only ones that want to protect it. That's setting up a civil war inside the GOP, with some members calling the idea, quote, insane. Yeah, that was Senator Josh Hawley, who says he won't support any bill that cuts Medicaid. Republican Representative Jason Smith joined the Hill on Sunday to share that he's trying to hear everyone out.
It's all about balancing everyone's interest. And if you know my colleagues that I serve with in the House, they have very strong differing views on various issues, especially state and local income tax, like you referred to. Some people call it SALT. We've been working with the members from California, New Jersey, New York, and trying to find that good balance and look at the overall tax package that we're going to be bringing forward with lower rates, pro-growth, pro-family, pro-worker, pro-small business policies. But we have to thread that needle. We have to thread that needle very easily. If you look at the United States Senate, they do not have a senator that represents a SALT state that's Republican.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so it's not a priority of the Senate by any means.
It that way.
But it is a priority of President Trump as well. He did campaign that he wanted to provide some SALT relief to those people in New York, New Jersey, and California. We'll do it, but it has to be a fair, even balance. I will say that the president's been crystal clear, Chris, that he will not be cutting benefits for individuals, will not allow that. He does not want this to be a health care bill. This is an economic bill that secures the border and unleashes U.S. energy. There's other things that Energy and Commerce can do that are much more things than Medicaid. For example, Spectrum can bring in a very large amount of money, an auction. And so there's numerous different items.
And this is where the federal government has, through the FCC, licenses the use of the airwaves, and there's a lot of demand for new airwaves, and that could be billions of dollars.
That's exactly right. It would be many billions of dollars, and that falls within the same jurisdiction of Energy and Commerce. Work requirements is one thing. Also making sure illegals don't receive benefits is another. But taking benefits from U.S. citizens is not what the president's priority is.
So fiscal hawks are pushing for another $500 billion in tax cuts, but moderates, especially from suburban districts in New York, California, and New Jersey, are saying no way without SALT relief and protections for social programs. Add in the fact that Republicans have a razor-thin majority in the House, and suddenly getting every GOP vote on the same page seems almost impossible. Republicans are walking a tightrope between MAGA loyalty, fiscal conservatism, and re-election pressures. This bill is a moonshot for Trump's economic legacy, but also a political minefield. Democrats are accusing Republicans of pushing tax breaks for the rich while gutting programs that help the poor.
The point that I'm asking is this. What level of culpability do you attach to the Democratic Party in contributing to that national debt?
35%. You can go
35 to 65?
Yeah, you can go back and look at deficit growth under Democratic presidents and deficit growth under Republican presidents. It's actually a figure that you can see. And you can look at it over 75 years, you can look at it over 50 years, you can look at it over 25 years, in any time frame that you want. And I'm sorry, but there are facts out there. And they're indisputable. No one can dispute that. There's been volumes of research done on this. And right now, the extending these tax cuts are going to easily be $4.5 trillion. Easy. And then where are they going to get the money? It's a billionaire bailout. That's what they're doing.
And here's the kicker. Even if the bill squeaks through the House and it's got a long road ahead, the Senate will likely rewrite it, sending it back to the House, and then we're off to the races doing this whole thing all over again. Republicans only have 6 working weeks to pass this before their self-imposed July 4th deadline, and they want to avoid a bruising debt ceiling fight by baking it into this package. So let's zoom all the way out. This isn't just about tax brackets or business write-offs. It's about what kind of Republican Party moves forward in 2025. Are they still the party of Reagan-era small government? Or are they now firmly in the image of Trump's economics? This tax plan is being framed as a crown jewel of Trump's second-term agenda, but many of the proposed cuts expire in just a few years, setting up another potential fiscal cliff during the next administration. That could mean that this fight, as messy as it is, might just only be the beginning. So the bottom line is that this tax bill is bold, sprawling, and deeply polarizing, a political Rubik's Cube, if you will. Every move pleases one part of the base and infuriates another. Whether it becomes law or becomes campaign ammo, it may tell us more about the state of the Republican Party than about tax policy itself.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.